feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Young mother is attacked, abducted, and murdered by a man family members say was her longtime boyfriend.
Just after midnight on December 7th, 2021, in Miami-Dade, Florida, a woman clocked into her shift at a group home. She was 27 years old. She was a mother of two, and she was 6 weeks pregnant with her third child. Her name was Andrea Lloyd. She was working as a caretaker and supervisor. It was supposed to be a regular night, but nothing about this night would be regular. Around midnight, someone showed up at her workplace. Someone she'd been with for 11 years. The father of her two children.
Sight.
Oh!
Read it. I don't even know what the top say.
Oh.
Can you read it out loud, please?
No, I ain't gonna read it out loud. Oh, I spoiled it. Where the money at?
They already came prepacked. They ain't no money to you know.
So you didn't do this?
No. I ordered it.
Okay. I open
Sight.
I want to open taste. Can I open taste?
Can you go?
Bad boy. Bad boy.
Can I see the box? Why
I should have put on my clothes.
Maybe.
Same thing. Yeah, you can beef if you want to.
Why can't people
You can sleep if you want to.
Right.
This money
Is money.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind.
His name was Xavier Johnson, and he didn't come to talk. What happened next was caught on camera. Every second of it. He beat her. He dragged her across the ground. He forced her into her own white Honda Civic and took her against her will. The surveillance video captured all of it. Her family would later have to watch this footage. They would have to see the moment their daughter, their sister, their loved one was taken. By morning, she was gone. By the next day, she was dead.
Now at 11, kidnapped and killed a woman's boyfriend of over a decade, now faces a murder charge. Her family weighs in on what might have led to the tragedy.
Their relationship seemed perfect. You know, I never really seen them argue, like when we had family functions and things like that. When they came around, they was always happy. They both were always happy.
This is the story of Andrea Lloyd, a woman who made a choice to leave, a choice that cost her everything. If you're from Miami, if you know this story, if you've ever wondered what happened after that night, stay with us, because the truth is darker than you might think. And if you haven't heard this story yet, you need to, because it's about to change how you understand the danger of domestic violence.
I had to take two people. Somebody to take one person down, and drop them off because they took her car with her.
Families say Andrea is a mother and just a few weeks pregnant with her third baby. They're anxious for answers and holding on to hope that Andrea and her unborn baby are found soon.
You know, I think she's alive. Probably tied up or something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Have you ever heard about this case? Drop a comment below and let us know. And if you're new here, hit subscribe, because True Crime Station tells the stories that matter.
On to a developing story out of Southwest Miami-Dade, where police say a woman is still missing after being abducted from her job this morning. 27-year-old Andrea Lloyd works as a caretaker at a home.
That's where she was when we're told she opened the door to a man who beat her and dragged her into his car against her will.
Miami-Dade police confirming something did in fact go drastically wrong overnight. They say surveillance video revealed a disturbing scene after a man showed up at Andrea's job just after midnight.
We are continuing to use all of our resources to be able to find Andrea.
Into the evening, 7 Skyforce above as daylight turns to night, and the dire search for 27-year-old Andrea Lloyd continues.
Overnight while you were sleeping, Miami-Dade police charged a man for abducting and killing a Southwest Miami-Dade woman. This is a look at that suspect, 32-year-old Xavier Johnson. Police making the arrest after finding the suspect near where human remains were discovered.
Family member called us. We responded immediately. We observed the boyfriend, and we have detained him. One of our canines alerted to an area, a heavily wooded area.
Police say a cadaver dog also alerted them to something not too far from where the boyfriend was seen. Overcome with emotion, Andrea's family wait in angst for any word about where she is. Police tell 7 News Andrea was beaten and then abducted while she was working as a caretaker at a home near Southwest 285th Terrace and 137th Avenue around 12:30 Tuesday morning. Detectives say whoever did this dragged and forced her into her white Honda Civic with Florida plates Y650DL.
We had to take 2 people. Somebody take one person now, and drop them off because they took her car with her.
Families say Andrea is a mother and just a few weeks pregnant with her 3rd baby. They're anxious for answers and holding on to hope that Andrea and her unborn baby are found soon.
You know, I think she's alive. Probably tied up or something like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Right now at noon, authorities arresting a man who they say confessed to kidnapping and killing his pregnant girlfriend. We were there as 32-year-old Xavier Johnson was walked into jail shortly after midnight. Police say Andrea Lloyd was abducted as she was working at a Southwest Miami-Dade group home.
And human remains were found sadly on Wednesday, but they have yet to be identified. Johnson now facing a judge, and Local 10's Annalise Garcia is live in Doral with more on this one for us. Annalise.
Yeah, Janice Christie, today Johnson did appear in front of a judge, and that judge did find probable cause, and now he's being held no bond.
Mr. Johnson, good morning.
33-year-old Xavier Johnson stood before a judge Thursday morning. The judge addressed the disturbing allegations against him.
Morning. Sir, you were arrested for 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of kidnapping, and 1 count of armed burglary with an assault or battery.
Johnson, arrested in connection to the disappearance of 27-year-old Andrea Lloyd, spoke in court about possibly acquiring a private attorney.
Do you have an attorney?
Yes.
Who's your
I don't have
attorney?
one yet, but I'm gonna get one. Go ahead.
The assets you own, the property owner, what, jet skis, and what else?
The value of my jet skis is $16,000.
Family tells us Johnson was the boyfriend of Lloyd and father of her 2 children. Lloyd also 6 months pregnant with her 3rd child.
So now we know that Johnson is being held without bond on all 3 of those major charges. As for why this happened, Lloyd's father says the 3rd child, the one that she is pregnant with, was not Johnson's, and that she was planning on breaking up with him. So that is his best guess as to why this happened to his daughter.
Mother who lost her life is being honored on what would have been her 28th birthday. Andrea Lloyd was pregnant with her 3rd child when she was brutally murdered. Local 10's Janine Stan with us live down in Homestead with how loved ones are remembering her tonight. Janine.
And Calvin, right now we are along Southwest 328th Street. This is very near where Andrea Lloyd's body was found. But today was about remembering her as a mom, as a cousin and a friend, and of course celebrating her on what would have been her birthday.
As a loving, funny little sister, she's going to be missed.
It make us feel like the person she was. She really was loved.
Friends and family of Andrea Lloyd are remembering the mother, the caring healthcare worker who today would have turned 28.
We pray for the best, even at this moment.
And where pink balloons in her honor are now being released.
When Andrea Lloyd vanished that night, her family didn't have to wait long for answers. But the answers they got were the worst they could imagine. On December 8th, just 1 day after her disappearance, Her remains were found near the Homestead Miami Speedway. The location was specific: Southwest 127th Avenue and 330th Street. That's where she was left. That's where her life ended. But here's what happened next. A family member spotted Xavier Johnson near that area. They didn't hesitate. They called the police immediately. And within hours, Johnson was arrested. The same day Andrea's body was found, the man who took her was in custody. What happened during that arrest would become crucial to the case. Xavier Johnson didn't deny what he'd done. He confessed. He admitted to kidnapping Andrea. He admitted to killing her. There was no drawn-out investigation where detectives had to piece together evidence for months. He told them. He told them what he did. The charges came swift and severe. First-degree murder, kidnapping, burglary with assault. This wasn't going to be a case that dragged through the courts for years with plea negotiations. The evidence was overwhelming. The confession was on record. The intent was clear. Johnson was taken to Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center. And here's the critical detail. He was held without bond. That means the court looked at this case and decided there was no amount of money that could get him back on the street. He was deemed too dangerous, too much of a flight risk, too guilty. But the story doesn't end with an arrest, because a judge in this case made a statement that sent a message about how serious this crime was considered. The judge indicated that this could be a death penalty case. Think about that for a second. A death penalty case. In Florida, in 2021, that's how severe the circumstances were. That's how brutal what happened to Andrea was viewed by the legal system. A woman who was trying to build a better life for her children. A woman who made the decision to leave after 11 years. A woman who was 6 weeks pregnant and looking toward a future without the man who controlled her. She was taken. She was killed. And the person who did it confessed to it. Her father, Arnold Lloyd, spoke about his youngest daughter after her death. He called her an angel. He said her entire life revolved around her children. Those 2 kids she was raising. The 3rd child she would never hold. On what would have been Andrea's 28th birthday, December 13th, just 6 days after she died, her family held a celebration of life. Not a funeral. A celebration. Because that's who she was to them. Not a victim in a true crime story. A woman, a mother, an angel, someone worth celebrating. Xavier Johnson sits in a cell. He confessed to taking her life. He's facing charges that could result in the ultimate punishment. And Andrea Lloyd's 2 children are growing up without their mother. Her siblings are living without their baby sister. Her father is living without his youngest child. And the child she was carrying will never exist. This is what happens when someone decides they own another person. This is what happens when control becomes violence. This is what happens when an abuser realizes he's losing his grip. Andrea Lloyd made a choice to leave, and that choice mattered, even though it cost her everything. That choice was the right one, and everyone who loved her knows that. If you're watching this and you recognize yourself in Andrea's situation, if you're in a relationship where leaving feels dangerous or impossible, there are resources. Look them up. Reach out. Don't wait. This story deserves to be heard. Share it. Comment what you think about this case. Subscribe so you never miss stories like Andrea's, because her life mattered. And so does making sure the world knows what happened to her.